In this message, the speaker introduces the concept of extraordinary signs that are unique to the most powerful chosen ones, individuals who are selected for a higher purpose. These signs are not just typical markers of a spiritual awakening, but are far more profound, suggesting that the person experiencing them is deeply connected to something greater, something divine. As I reflect on this idea, I begin to understand that these signs are not random or coincidental. They are part of a larger divine plan that is unfolding in my life. They represent an elevation in spiritual awareness and purpose, setting those who experience them apart from others. The idea that only a select few experience certain divine signs deeply resonates with me. It suggests that these signs are meant for individuals with a unique divine purpose, which humbles and motivates me. It makes me realize my life may have a greater purpose than I initially imagined. These signs go beyond typical spiritual experiences, guiding me toward a deeper destiny. I've had moments when I felt energy shifts within me, as if I were being prepared for something greater. These aren't random. They're part of a divine awakening, marking me for a special role. This isn't just about spiritual growth, but aligning with a higher purpose. The shifts in energy, like an electric current, have often felt like perfect harmony with myself and the divine. These moments guide me toward my true path. I've also become more spiritually sensitive, sensing the emotions and intentions of others. This heightened awareness helps me navigate my journey. Although embracing this sensitivity can be overwhelming at times, I see it as a divine blessing, allowing me to connect with others deeply and offer comfort when needed. Finally, I recognize that these signs are not merely for personal growth. They are part of a greater purpose, meant to help me serve others and fulfill the divine mission I have been called to. These signs are confirmation that I am on the right path, aligning my life with God's will. As I continue on this journey, I am learning to embrace these signs with gratitude, understanding that they are guiding me towards something extraordinary, something far beyond what I could have imagined. In summary, these extraordinary signs are not random events in my life, but sacred markers of a divine calling. They point toward a higher purpose and reveal a deep spiritual connection to the divine. As I reflect on this message, I realize that my journey is not just about personal awakening, but about fulfilling a greater mission, one that I am uniquely equipped to accomplish. These signs are my confirmation that I am chosen, set apart for a purpose that only I can fulfill. When I first encountered the idea that certain signs mark individuals for a divine mission, it resonated deeply with me. I've always felt that my spiritual journey is about more than just personal growth. It's about being part of something larger. These signs feel like confirmation that my path is not just about peace or enlightenment, but about fulfilling a greater purpose. There have been moments in my life when I experienced sudden clarity, as if I was exactly where I needed to be. I now see these moments as divine signals, preparing me for something bigger. What stands out is that these signs aren't for everyone. Only the chosen ones experience them. This makes me wonder if my own experiences are guiding me toward a purpose beyond what I understand. These signs represent more than personal growth. They point to a unique destiny. I feel as though I've been chosen for a path that was laid out long before I realized it. While some of these experiences have been overwhelming, I've come to understand that they are part of my preparation for something greater. They are guiding me toward a divine purpose, one that will impact others in a meaningful way. Reflecting on this, I realize that I am not just a passive observer in my spiritual journey. These signs are pushing me to become an active participant in a divine plan. Each sign, each awakening, is a call to step forward with purpose. I am being asked to fulfill a unique role, one that I'm uniquely equipped to handle, and that knowledge makes me more determined to trust in the process and embrace the responsibility that comes with these divine markers. These signs, though they may feel challenging at times, are ultimately gifts that point me toward the greater purpose I am meant to fulfill. When I reflect on the call to connect, I realize it's not just about sharing a message or idea. It's about creating a space where people can come together, reflect on their own experiences, and engage in meaningful conversations. It's a profound invitation to share our truths and see how they resonate with others. This sense of connection is powerful. It's about recognizing that we are all on our own journeys, but our paths often intersect in unexpected and profound ways. And sometimes those intersections happen in the most unexpected places, like here, in this moment of reflection. The invitation to comment if the message resonates is more than just a call for interaction. It's a subtle invitation to pause and reflect on whether the words spoken are tapping into something deeper within us. I think about the times I've heard a message that seemed to speak directly to my heart, when a few words or phrases felt like they were meant just for me. It's as if the speaker could see into my soul, acknowledging a part of me that I may not have fully recognized myself. It's a reminder that we are not alone in our thoughts, that others may have experienced similar emotions or struggles, and that sharing those moments can foster a sense of solidarity and understanding. The invitation to share experiences and feelings has always resonated with me. I often hold back my thoughts, unsure if others will understand. But when I hear someone express something I feel, it's liberating. It reminds me that I'm not alone in my emotions. This also prompts me to reflect. Do I recognize the truth in the message? Does it challenge my perspective? This self-reflection helps me grow and understand my own journey in a deeper way. The chance to comment empowers me to participate, to add my voice to the conversation. It reminds me that my thoughts matter and connects me to a community where we all contribute to the dialogue. Vulnerability is key, and by sharing, we create a space for mutual understanding and support. Ultimately, this process fosters a community based on shared experiences and honesty. When I reflect on what resonates, I connect with others who are on similar paths. It's transformative, allowing us to see each other in a new light and find strength in our shared experiences. The first sign of an energy shift is like an electric current, a surge of alignment with the universe. I've felt this sensation, a moment when everything clicks into place, reminding me that something greater than myself is at work. This energy shift doesn't always make sense in the traditional sense, and that's what makes it so compelling. It's not a logical, explainable event. It's a feeling, a force that transcends reason. I can remember moments when something just clicked. Maybe it was the sudden clarity of purpose, a feeling of peace that washed over me, or a deep sense of being on the right path. It was as though everything I had been searching for, answers, direction, understanding, suddenly became clear. The feeling wasn't just emotional, but physical, like a wave of electricity flowing through my body, aligning my thoughts, my heart, and my soul with what I now understood to be God's plan. In that moment, I realized that alignment isn't always about things falling into place the way I expect them to. It's about recognizing that there is a greater force guiding me, sometimes through turbulence, sometimes through moments of stillness, but always with purpose. It's like a current moving through a river, sometimes calm and gentle, other times forceful and rapid, but always headed toward the same destination. The energy shift was a sign that I was on the right path, one that might not always be easy, but one that had meaning, purpose, and divine intention. What strikes me most about this first sign is how it connects me to something bigger than myself. It's not just about me finding my place in the world. It's about aligning with a divine plan that transcends my individual desires and ambitions. The surge of energy I feel serves as a reminder that I am part of a larger narrative, one that has been unfolding long before I arrived and will continue long after I'm gone. In those moments of alignment, I no longer feel like I'm struggling against the current. I feel like I'm being carried forward, in harmony with the rhythm of the universe. I also find it interesting that this energy shift is often described as an electric current. There's something powerful about electricity. It's invisible, yet it has the ability to illuminate, to energize, and to connect things. When I feel this energy shift, I sense it in the same way. It's invisible, yet it alters everything it touches. It's as though my perspective shifts, my priorities adjust, and I feel more connected to my higher purpose. It's a reminder that we don't always need to see the full picture to trust in the process. Sometimes we just need to feel the current and allow ourselves to be swept forward. This experience is not always obvious, and there are times when I question whether it's truly divine guidance or just a fleeting moment of inspiration. But the more I reflect on it, the more I realize that the energy shift I feel is often followed by a series of events that confirm I am on the right path. It's like the universe is sending small confirmations, nudging me toward the next step, validating my choices, and providing a sense of peace that everything is unfolding as it should. This profound shift, like an electric current, signals that I am aligned with God's plan, at least in that moment. It's not a permanent state, but a reminder that there are moments when I am exactly where I need to be. And in those moments, I can feel the current moving through me, guiding me, reminding me that I am part of something much greater than myself. It's a humbling and exhilarating feeling, one that encourages me to trust in the journey, to embrace the unknown, and to stay open to the divine guidance that is constantly available if I am willing to listen. For me, this energy shift is a call to deepen my connection with the divine plan, to remain present in the moment, and to trust that even when things feel uncertain, there is a current moving through my life, guiding me to where I need to be. It's a reminder that I am not alone in this journey and that there is always a higher power working behind the scenes, aligning everything in its perfect time. Reflecting on the energy shift that heightens sensitivity to others and my surroundings, I recognize its deep resonance with my own experiences. This shift isn't just a fleeting emotion, but a tangible awareness that amplifies everything around me. When it happens, I become acutely aware of others' emotional and spiritual states, as well as subtle changes in the environment. It's like a spiritual radar, tuning into vibrations and undercurrents I hadn't sensed before. This increased sensitivity feels like a gift, yet it also comes with responsibility as it's part of a larger divine mission. I've had moments where, in a crowded room, I felt deeply connected to the people around me. I could sense their emotions, intentions, and struggles without them speaking. It wasn't just empathy, it was a profound connection, revealing a deeper layer of their being. This sensitivity felt intentional, not random, like the universe opening my eyes to see beyond the surface. While beautiful, this heightened sensitivity can be overwhelming at times, and I must be careful not to get consumed by others' energy. When I channel it properly, though, it feels like I'm being guided toward a divine mission. There's a sense of purpose behind this sensitivity, as though I'm being led on a path aligned with my true purpose. Every encounter and situation seems to fit into a larger plan, even if I can't fully understand it. I've come to realize that this energy shift isn't by chance. It feels like a divine call preparing me for something significant. This heightened sensitivity is both a tool and a challenge. I'm not just meant to passively experience life. I'm being called to notice, listen, understand, and respond with compassion. These heightened senses are part of my mission to guide others and help them align with their own divine paths. The more I reflect on it, the more I realize that this sensitivity is a sign that I am being chosen for something greater. In those moments of heightened awareness, I don't feel like I'm alone or adrift. Instead, I feel like I'm exactly where I'm meant to be, in the presence of the people and situations that are crucial to my growth and to my mission. It's like a cosmic orchestration. Everything is happening for a reason, and I am being gently nudged in the direction I need to go. The energy of others becomes a guidepost, showing me where to focus my attention and where to invest my energy. In practical terms, this means that I've had to learn to protect my energy while also being open to the sensitivities around me. There are moments when I have to take a step back and center myself, making sure that I'm not absorbing too much of the emotional or spiritual weight of others. At the same time, I've learned that this heightened sensitivity allows me to connect deeply with others, offering support, guidance, and understanding in a way that I might not have been able to do otherwise. It's not always easy, but it's incredibly fulfilling to know that I am being guided toward a higher purpose, one that is intricately connected to the energy of the people and world around me. Ultimately, I believe this energy shift is part of my divine mission. It's a sign that I'm being called to serve, to lead, and to be a vessel for the greater good. The more I embrace this heightened sensitivity, the more I feel my life aligning with something bigger than myself. It's not always clear exactly where this path will lead, but I know that it's one that will guide me toward my purpose and help me fulfill the mission I am meant to carry out. When I think about the heightened sensitivity that allows certain individuals, like myself, to perceive invisible forces and subtle life currents, I realize just how significant this gift is. It's not simply about being more aware of the physical world around me. It's about tapping into something deeper, something unseen. These forces, which may include the energy of other people, the spiritual vibrations of the environment, or even the unspoken undercurrents of the world, have a way of guiding me toward my true purpose. It's as if I have an internal compass that's constantly attuned to these invisible signals, helping me make decisions and navigate life in ways that feel deeply aligned with a greater divine plan. In my own life, I've noticed this heightened sensitivity beginning to take shape during times of personal growth or when I find myself at a crossroads. There are moments when the world seems to shift around me, and I become acutely aware of the energies that I had once overlooked. It feels like a sudden awakening, where everything that once seemed trivial now holds profound significance. For example, when I encounter someone, I can feel not just their words or actions, but the energy they carry. An energy that speaks volumes about their inner world. It's not about reading minds, but more about picking up on the vibrations that we all emit, consciously or unconsciously. This ability goes beyond just being able to sense the emotions or intentions of those around me. It also allows me to perceive the subtle currents that exist beneath the surface of life itself. There's a certain harmony that I can sense in the flow of time and events. When I pay attention, I notice that certain opportunities seem to appear at just the right moment, as if the universe is gently nudging me in a specific direction. These moments don't always come with clear instructions. Instead, they feel more like gentle whispers or signs, like being in the right place at the right time, or hearing something that feels like it was meant just for me. It's a recognition of the invisible forces that govern our existence. The more I reflect on this heightened sensitivity, the more I realize that it's not random or arbitrary. It feels like a preparation for something greater. I often find myself wondering if this sensitivity is part of a divine design, if these subtle energies are the way that I am being aligned with my true purpose. Perhaps these unseen forces are not just guiding me in my day-to-day life, but also shaping me for something specific, something that requires this acute awareness. It feels like being part of a bigger plan, like a thread woven into a larger tapestry that I can't always see but can feel guiding me every step of the way. Sometimes the awareness of these invisible forces can feel overwhelming. The constant barrage of energies, whether positive or negative, can be draining if I don't take care to protect my own energy. I've had to learn to shield myself from absorbing too much, to avoid getting lost in the currents of others' emotions or the chaotic energy around me. There are days when I find it hard to discern which energies are mine and which are coming from external sources. But when I find balance and maintain my focus, the sensitivity becomes a powerful tool that enriches my life. In a way, this sensitivity feels like being chosen for a particular purpose. It's as if this awareness is preparing me for something greater, something that requires a deep understanding of life's subtle forces. This might involve helping others who are struggling to align with their own life currents, guiding them to tap into the unseen energies that are meant for them. Or perhaps it's about recognizing when the universe is presenting opportunities or challenges and knowing how to navigate them with grace and purpose. I often feel like I'm being trained for something. Like this heightened sensitivity is a way for me to better serve others and fulfill a deeper divine mission. As I continue to embrace this sensitivity, I notice that my life is becoming more and more aligned with a sense of purpose. The invisible forces that once felt distant or intangible now seem to have a clear and intentional direction, guiding me toward my true calling. I realize that I'm not just here to exist passively, but to actively engage with these energies, to recognize the currents of life that flow through me and everyone around me, and to use that awareness to make meaningful decisions. In the end, this heightened sensitivity is a gift, but it's also a responsibility. It's not just about feeling more attuned to the energies of the world, it's about using that awareness to serve a higher purpose. I trust that by embracing this sensitivity, I am being prepared for something greater, something that will require me to navigate life with a deep understanding of its invisible currents, all while staying true to my own path. When I reflect on the deep emotional sensitivity and empathy that I experience, I can't help but recognize it as both a gift and a challenge. It's a trait that I believe has been nurtured within me over time, a sensitivity to the emotions of others that feels almost intuitive. I'm able to connect with people on a level that many might not understand. I can sense their pain, their joy, their fears, and their hopes with an intensity that sometimes surprises even me. This profound connection to others' emotions feels like a double-edged sword. On one hand, it allows me to offer support and compassion in ways that feel deeply meaningful. On the other hand, it also brings an emotional weight that can sometimes be overwhelming. There are times when I find myself absorbed in the emotional states of those around me, almost as if I'm living their experiences with them. I remember countless moments when I've been with someone who is struggling, and I can feel the heaviness in their heart before they even say a word. It's as if their emotions bleed into mine, making me more aware of their pain, frustration, or joy. This kind of sensitivity allows me to offer comfort and understanding that feels genuine, because I'm not just responding to their words, I'm responding to the emotions beneath them. This can create an incredible bond between us, a silent understanding that transcends words. However, as much as this ability is a gift, it can also feel like a burden. There are times when the emotional energy of others overwhelms me. I've learned that my heightened empathy means I'm susceptible to absorbing other people's emotions, which can be mentally and physically draining. It's not uncommon for me to leave a conversation feeling emotionally exhausted, even if it wasn't my own experience I was processing. The sheer weight of feeling someone else's emotional pain or joy can be so consuming that it leaves me feeling depleted. I often find myself struggling to separate my own feelings from the emotions of others, which is particularly difficult when I care deeply for the people in my life. This emotional sensitivity also means that I am often hyper-aware of the unspoken emotions in any given situation. I can sense tension in a room, even when no one is openly acknowledging it. I can feel the discomfort or unease in a group of people, and it affects me in ways that I can't always control. Sometimes I find myself trying to manage these emotional shifts, trying to ease the tension and make others feel comfortable, often to the detriment of my own emotional well-being. It's as if I'm always trying to mend the emotional gaps between people, but I can lose myself in the process. At the same time, this sensitivity fosters a deep sense of compassion within me. I feel driven to help others, to offer them a safe space where they can be vulnerable and honest about their emotions. It's almost as if my own sense of purpose is tied to this ability to connect with others emotionally. I want to be there for those who need support, who are struggling to make sense of their own emotions. This emotional empathy helps me to build meaningful relationships and make a positive impact in the lives of others. I can't help but feel that this is part of the reason why I have been given this gift, to be a source of understanding and comfort in the lives of those who need it most. But there are moments when I wish I could switch off this sensitivity, even just for a little while. There are days when the weight of absorbing others' emotions becomes too much, and I long for a sense of emotional distance or relief. It's not always easy to navigate this emotional landscape, and I often wonder if I'm using my empathy in the healthiest way possible. It's a delicate balance between offering support to others and protecting my own emotional boundaries. As I continue to grow, I've realized that this sensitivity is part of who I am, and it will always be a part of my journey. It's a gift that requires careful management and a deep understanding of how to protect myself while still being present for others. I've learned to set emotional boundaries, to take time for myself when needed, and to seek support from others when I'm feeling drained. At its best, my sensitivity allows me to foster deep connections with those around me, helping them to feel seen, heard, and understood. At its worst, it can leave me feeling overwhelmed and emotionally scattered. But in the end, I believe that this emotional sensitivity is both a responsibility and a privilege. A privilege to connect with others in a way that most people can't, and a responsibility to use this gift in ways that nurture not only others, but also myself. When I think about how my dreams have evolved over time, I can't help but reflect on how they have become more vivid and symbolic. At first, dreams were just fleeting thoughts, abstract, disconnected, and often not making much sense. But over time, I've noticed a shift. Dreams have become increasingly clear, intense, and full of imagery that feels meaningful. They no longer feel like random fragments of my subconscious. Instead, they feel like messages, like some sort of divine guidance trying to make its way into my waking consciousness. There are nights when I wake up, and the dream is so vivid that I can still feel the emotions I experienced in the dream lingering with me. It's almost as if the dream itself was an experience I lived through. The colors are brighter, the sounds clearer, and the symbols more pronounced. I've had dreams that seem to offer insight into situations I was facing or things that I hadn't yet fully understood in my waking life. It's as though my mind is working overtime to process emotions, thoughts, and situations, and dreams have become the medium through which this happens. The vividness of these dreams is something I never took for granted. The symbols in my dreams have become more complex and intricate, and they often leave me with a sense of awe and wonder. It feels as though each dream is layered with meaning, as if they are trying to guide me in some way, even when I don't consciously know what I need guidance for. I've learned to pay attention to these symbols, trying to decipher what they might be telling me. Sometimes it feels like a riddle, and I need to sit with it and reflect before I fully understand the message. What's most striking to me is how these dreams often seem to carry a sense of divine presence. There have been instances when I've woken up from a dream feeling as though I've received wisdom directly from a higher source. It's hard to describe, but there's an undeniable feeling of having connected with something beyond myself, something that transcends the physical world. In these moments, it feels like I've been given the answers I've been searching for, sometimes without even realizing I was looking for them. It's like a sense of inner peace and clarity that settles into me, making me feel as though I'm on the right path, even when I was uncertain before. I've started to recognize patterns in these dreams, and sometimes the symbolism is so clear that I can see how it ties into events in my life. For example, when I'm facing a decision or feeling lost, I might dream of a winding path or a large door opening, which seems to symbolize opportunities and choices. When I'm stressed or overwhelmed, I might dream of calming waters or vast open skies, signaling the need for peace and surrender. These symbolic elements are not just random. At least they don't feel that way to me. They feel like they are speaking directly to my soul, offering me advice on how to navigate the uncertainties of life. What amazes me is how these dreams don't just feel like random thoughts. They feel like a direct communication from a spiritual realm. It's as though something beyond the physical world is trying to help me understand myself and my life in a deeper, more profound way. There's a certain sacredness in these dreams that I can't quite explain, but I feel a sense of reverence when I remember them. I've learned to embrace this connection and trust that these dreams are a form of guidance meant for my growth and healing. In a world that can sometimes feel disconnected and chaotic, my dreams have become a space where I feel anchored and supported. They offer a sense of clarity and reassurance that I often can't find in the noise of daily life. When I wake up with a feeling of divine peace, I feel grateful for these messages, knowing they are helping me find my way. And while I might not always understand everything immediately, I trust that in time, the meaning will reveal itself. It's a journey of understanding and connection, and I am learning to listen more deeply to the wisdom that my dreams provide. As I reflect on my spiritual journey, there's one phase that stands out, an emerging sense of spiritual maturity that feels both liberating and humbling. This phase is marked by a gradual detachment from material desires and a deepening call to solitude. It's not that I've abandoned the world entirely, but rather I've come to understand the fleeting nature of material pursuits. Over time, I began to realize that true peace and fulfillment don't come from possessions, success, or external validation, but from a connection to something far greater, something transcendent. This shift in perspective has been both subtle and profound. In the past, like most people, I found myself deeply invested in the things that society often teaches are the keys to happiness: wealth, status, and achievement. There was a time when these goals drove my actions and thoughts, often filling my mind and consuming my energy. I sought to climb ladders, gain approval, and acquire things that promised satisfaction. But no matter how much I attained, there was always a lingering sense of emptiness. It was as though I was chasing something that could never quite be captured. Then, as I deepened my spiritual practices and my connection with God, something within me began to shift. I started to feel a pull toward detachment from the endless pursuit of material success and a desire for deeper meaning. I didn't realize it at the time, But this was the beginning of my spiritual maturity. It wasn't a rejection of the world or of the things I had worked for, but rather a realization that they no longer held the same power over me. I began to see them as transient, and more importantly, I started to understand that they could not bring me the peace I longed for. This realization led me to seek solitude more often. There was a quiet calling within me to spend more time in reflection, meditation, and prayer. Solitude became a place where I could escape the noise of the world and reconnect with the divine. It wasn't about being alone for the sake of isolation, but rather about carving out space where I could hear God's voice more clearly. In this solitude, I found a sense of peace and clarity that was otherwise elusive in my daily life. I realized that in the stillness, I could feel a deep connection to God, one that transcended the superficial distractions of the world. The more time I spent in solitude, the more I began to let go of the attachment to material things. There was a quiet joy in simply being present with God, in simply being, without the need to accomplish or acquire anything. This was a deeply freeing experience. I began to find satisfaction not in things, but in the moments of stillness, in the peace of knowing that I was enough as I was, that I was loved unconditionally. It was in these moments that I truly understood the difference between worldly desires and spiritual fulfillment. I also found that detachment didn't mean renouncing everything or withdrawing completely from society. It meant understanding the true value of things and prioritizing my spiritual life above all. My relationship with material things began to change. I no longer chased after them for validation or happiness, but rather, I began to see them as tools to support my life, not as the source of my identity or worth. This shift was gradual but deeply transformative. Solitude, too, became a sacred space. It wasn't always easy to embrace at first, especially with the busyness of life pulling me in different directions. But I learned that in moments of solitude, I could connect with a deeper part of myself and of God. It became a sanctuary where I could reflect, pray, and listen to the quiet whisper of the divine. In this space, I began to see my life from a different perspective. I understood that my worth wasn't tied to my accomplishments or material possessions, but to my relationship with God. As I continue on this path of spiritual growth, I feel more grounded in the knowledge that true peace comes not from the external world, but from within. Detaching from material desires has opened my heart to a deeper, more meaningful connection with God. Solitude has become a gift, not a burden, offering me the opportunity to reconnect and realign myself with what truly matters. And as I move forward, I carry this sense of peace and detachment, knowing that my connection with the divine is my true source of strength and fulfillment. Reflecting on the idea of being chosen, I've often wondered what it truly means to possess heightened perception and how this ability manifests in our lives. Throughout my spiritual journey, I've come to realize that those who are chosen, whether by God, fate, or something more profound, are often individuals who possess an acute sensitivity to the world around them. They have a deeper understanding of the emotional and spiritual needs of others and are capable of seeing beyond surface-level realities. For me, this heightened perception is not just about seeing the world differently, but about understanding its intricacies and, in turn, offering wisdom and guidance to others. It's easy to overlook the significance of perception. In our fast-paced world, people often focus on the tangible and material aspects of life, missing the subtleties that make up the broader spiritual and emotional landscape. But those who are chosen, in my experience, seem to have the ability to tap into something deeper. Their heightened perception allows them to sense things that others may miss. An unspoken sorrow in someone's eyes, a hidden potential in a person, or a subtle shift in the energy of a room. This awareness often drives them to help others, as if guided by an inner knowing that their purpose is to ease suffering and provide direction. I've come to understand that this heightened perception isn't just about being special or unique. It's about being in tune with the divine energy that flows through the universe, being attuned to the spiritual realm that many people fail to notice. It's a kind of intuition that doesn't come from the logical mind, but from a deeper, more profound place of knowing. For me, this has been a gradual unfolding, one that has grown clearer over time. I've become more attuned to the subtle currents of life, able to sense when someone is in need or when the time is right to offer a word of encouragement. It feels almost as if the divine nudges me, guiding me to take action when I may not have initially understood the situation. The role of offering guidance is often part of the divine mission that the chosen ones fulfill. For me, this mission feels both humbling and empowering. There's a deep sense of responsibility attached to it, knowing that the wisdom we offer can help shape someone's life in profound ways. It's not about giving advice based on personal experience alone, but about sharing insights that come from a place of divine understanding. I've come to see that my role is not to impose my will on others, but to act as a channel through which divine wisdom flows. This has taught me the importance of humility and patience in guiding others. What's particularly intriguing is how this heightened perception often leads to a sense of purpose. When I reflect on my own life, I realize that the moments when I have felt most aligned with my true calling have been those where I've stepped into the role of guide or support for someone else. Whether it's offering a listening ear, sharing an insight, or providing comfort in times of distress, I've felt a deep connection to my mission. These experiences have given me a profound sense of fulfillment, knowing that I am fulfilling my divine purpose. However, this perception also requires a level of discernment. With this gift comes the challenge of knowing when to speak and when to remain silent, when to offer guidance and when to step back. I've learned that offering support is not about giving answers or solutions to everything, but about being present with others, offering them the space to process their own feelings and thoughts. Sometimes the greatest gift I can give is simply being there, providing the quiet assurance that someone isn't alone in their struggles. As I continue to grow in my spiritual journey, I've become more aware of how this heightened perception and divine mission play a crucial role in my life. It's a constant reminder that my purpose goes beyond personal achievement or material success. Instead, it's about serving others, offering wisdom, and fulfilling a greater plan that's been laid out for me. In doing so, I've found that my life has gained a deeper sense of meaning, one rooted in the understanding that I am here not just for myself, but for others, to help them navigate their own paths with guidance and grace. It's a humbling realization, but one that fills me with a profound sense of purpose and peace.